What's up, guys? When a professional athlete stops producing at a high level, it's usually because of injuries and/or age. The human body can only absorb so much, and eventually Father Time takes over and wins. That's just the way it works. Get ready, kids. It's coming. But some once great athletes have declined in production when we least expected it. They stay healthy, are relatively young, and should still be producing like all-stars. But for unknown reasons, they just decline rapidly and never regain that strong form again. I'm Jason Biondo, and today we present 10 athletes that started struggling out of nowhere. Make sure to subscribe to TPS and put on your notifications because we post videos every single day. Every day's a new video, so subscribe. Make sure to leave your video ideas down below. We'll be looking, and if we pick your video idea, we're going to give you a shout out in the video. So you'll be in a video. And a big shout out to Karri Lotz for suggesting this video. Thank you, you're great. Number 10, Pablo Sandoval. The former all-star third baseman was an integral piece of the San Francisco Giants dynasty. Sandoval was on hand for the Giants' 2010, 2012, and 2014 World Series championships. In fact, he was named the 2012 World Series MVP. After leading San Fran to another championship in 2014, Sandoval entered free agency as one of the most sought-after players. The Boston Red Sox handed Sandoval a 5-year contract worth $90 million, believing the switch hitter would be a big-time contributor in their powerful lineup. Instead, he wound up being perhaps the worst free agent signing in Red Sox history. He batted a porous .245 and registered a woeful .658 OPS, far and away the worst numbers of his career. He finished the season with a putrid negative 0.9 wins above replacement. He only appeared in 3 games during the 2016 season because of injuries, so 2017 was his final chance. In 32 games, Sandoval batted a horrid .212 with an OPS of .623. It was so bad that despite only playing in 32 contests, he managed to finish with a WAR of -1. The Red Sox mercilessly cut him mid-season, and he went back to the Giants. Few could have expected Sandoval to flop so miserably in Boston. He was a feared hitter, well in his prime, and should have easily produced in the hitter-friendly Fenway Park. Instead, leaving San Fran to Beantown wound up killing his career. Number 9, ALTERRAUN VERNER. Welcome to today's edition of Remember Him? VERNER, a 4th-round pick by the Tennessee Titans in 2010, got better and better as his career in the Music City progressed. VERNER had a career year in 2013 where he picked off 5 passes and recorded an impressive 22 passes defended. It also happened to be VERNER's contract year, so he was one of the most desirable free agents when the market opened in 2014. VERNER signed a 4-year contract with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers for what looked like a bargain price tag of $25.75 million. But unfortunately, VERNER just wasn't able to fit in Tampa Bay's system, similar to Darrelle Revis in his lone year with the Bucs back in 2013. VERNER became a huge liability on defense, earning a horrible 42.6 grade from Pro Football Focus in 2015. A year later, Vernon's play improved, but PFF only ranked him as the 48th best corner of the season. Nothing like what we saw in Tennessee. The Bucs cut VERNER after the 2016 season. He played 1 year with the Miami Dolphins, but was largely unproductive. Nobody signed VERNER for the 2018 season. Who could have seen such a regression coming up after that 2013 Pro Bowl season in Tennessee? Not me. Number 8, JOAKIM Noah. The Chicago Bulls were one of the top teams in the Eastern Conference for the first half of the 2010s. This includes a 62-win season in 2010 to 2011, where the Bulls reached the conference finals before losing to the Miami Heat in 5 games. Though MVP Derrick Rose received most of the credit in Chi-Town, defensive stalwart JOAKIM Noah was a crucial part of their success as well. Noah was named to 2 All-Star games and won the 2014 Defensive Player of the Year award. Even when Rose was constantly injured, Noah was guiding the Bulls to the playoffs. He was consistently averaging double-digit points and rebounds, and was long viewed as one of the more underrated players in the NBA. But even though the Bills were one of the East's top teams in 2014 to 15, Noah had noticeably regressed. He averaged just 7.2 points and 9.6 rebounds per game. Those were Noah's lowest totals in 6 years. Injuries affected Noah in 2015 and 16, but even on the court, his production went way downhill. He averaged just 4.3 points per game, and when Noah signed a 4-year $72 million deal with the New York Knicks in the offseason, same old story. His stats just got worse and worse and worse. In October 2018, the Knicks released Noah, realizing that they had to move on from a player who somehow went from being an all-star and defensive stud to being a major liability overnight. Number 7, Bobby Ryan. The 6'2", 209-pound Ryan spent 6 seasons with the Anaheim Ducks, but only 4 of them were full seasons. Ryan notched 4 30-goal seasons and registered at least 57 points 4 4 times. But the Ducks made a bold decision and traded Ryan to the Ottawa Senators in the 2013 offseason. The Senators needed to replace captain Daniel Alfredsson, who left to sign with the Detroit Red Wings. Ryan's first year in Ottawa was productive. He scored 23 goals and 48 points. Still nothing close to what he put up in Anaheim though. In 6 seasons with the Senators, Ryan has only hit 20 goals twice. The most points he's put up in a single season there? 56. Obviously not bad, but what happened to the 30-goal player Ottawa thought they were getting? Ryan has stayed relatively healthy throughout his career and was supposed to be an ample piece of the Sens offense. Instead, being your 30-plus goal scorer, however, Ryan has regressed and is an overpaid bottom 6 guy now on most teams. Number 6, Jason Hayward. After reaching the NLCS in 2015, the Chicago Cubs decided to go all in. They signed away veteran pitcher John Lackey and Gold Glove right fielder Jason Hayward from the arch-rival St. Louis Cardinals. Hayward landed a whopping 8-year deal worth $184 million. It was a double whammy move for the Cubbies. Except, aside from displaying strong defense in the outfield, Hayward simply hasn't lived up to his contract in Chicago. Not even close. Hayward batted a woeful .230 in the 2016 season, registering a career-worst .631 OPS and .325 slugging percentage. His 2017 season wasn't much better offensively either, and though Hayward actually produced quality stats in 2018, it didn't come without a price. His one strong defense netted a mere 0.1 defense wins above replacement. It must be driving Cubs fans absolutely crazy. They're either getting good defense and terrible hitting, or strong hitting and fairly average defense. Hayward just hasn't been able to live up to that $184 million deal so far. Instead, being recognized as one of baseball's elite do-it-all players, Hayward is just viewed as one of the most overpaid players in sports right now. Period. Number 5, Jimmy Graham. Yes, Jimmy Graham is a 5-time Pro Bowler. 2 of those selections coming with the Seattle Seahawks, but that was largely because the NFC hasn't had many other great tight ends. Would Graham be elected if he wasn't in the AFC? Probably not. The 6'7" beast was one of the NFL's elite offensive playmakers during his 5 years with the New Orleans Saints. Graham had 2 1,000-yard seasons, registered at least 85 receptions 4 times, and had a trio of double-digit TD seasons. His 16 touchdown receptions in 2013 led the NFL as well. But after a down year by Graham's standards in 2014, the Saints dealt the Pro Bowl tight end to the Seattle Seahawks in exchange for center Max Unger and a first-round pick. Little did we know that Graham's career would go downhill from there. The most receptions Graham mustered in a single season with Seattle? 65, and he only had 18 total touchdowns over those 3 years. The Green Bay Packers handed Graham a 3-year deal worth $30 million in 2018, believing he'd emerge as a big-time weapon for Aaron Rodgers. It didn't happen. Graham caught just 55 passes for 636 yards, and so much for being a red zone threat. Graham only caught 2 touchdown passes. So was he simply a product of playing with Drew Brees? Apparently so, because even great quarterbacks like Russell Wilson and Aaron Rodgers weren't able to get a whole lot out of him. Number 4, CORY SCHNEIDER. Everybody knew CORY SCHNEIDER was a star goalie in the making. He just had to split duties with Roberto Luongo for 3 years in Vancouver. The Canucks were forced to end the goalie controversy in 2013 offseason. Luongo's contract was unmovable at the time, so the Canucks wound up sending Schneider to the New Jersey Devils for a first-round pick, which turned out to be Bo Horvat. In his 5 seasons with the Canucks, Schneider posted an excellent .927 save percentage and 2.20 goals against average. The Devils had themselves an all-star goalie. There was great reason for optimism in New Jersey again. Schneider was amazing in his first 2 years with New Jersey, totaling 53 wins and ranking among the league leaders in goals against average and save percentage. And this was on a very lackluster Devils team. But since the 2016-17 season, Schneider's tenure in New Jersey has been downright terrible. 2016-17 and 2017-18 were the 2 worst seasons of his career. In fact, he briefly lost the starting job to backup Keith Kincaid. The team in front of Schneider has gotten gradually better, but his stats just keep getting worse. The 2 split time during New Jersey's first-round playoff elimination to the Tampa Bay Lightning. Kincaid was the starter for most of 2018-19 before being traded to the Columbus Blue Jackets. But rather than reinstating Schneider as their workhorse between the pipes, the Devils began using youngster Mackenzie Blackwood more. Yeah, we don't know what happened with the elite version of CORY SCHNEIDER either, but oh well. Number 3, Randall Cobb. The Kentucky product was a big special teams weapon for the Green Bay Packers in his rookie 2011 season. A year later, Cobb became one of Aaron Rodgers' favorite weapons, recording 80 receptions for 954 yards and 8 touchdowns. 2 years later, Cobb enjoyed a Pro Bowl season, catching 91 passes for 1,287 yards and 12 touchdowns. That helped Rodgers win the MVP award, while Cobb and Jordy Nelson established themselves as the NFL's best wide receiver duo by far. Nelson tore his ACL and had to miss the entire 2015 season. Everybody expected Cobb to step up in his absence. Now that he was Rodgers' top wideout, Cobb earned a 4-year, $40 million extension in the offseason. season. It was really his chance to shine. But nope, Rodgers only had 79 receptions for 829 yards and 6 touchdowns. And guess what? That was actually his most productive season during the duration of that 4-year contract. Cobb suddenly stopped producing and became a number 3 wideout instead. So much for 2014 being a breakout year. Nobody will ever understand just how Cobb managed to regress despite playing with the league's most talented quarterback. Number 2, Andrew McCutchen. Kutch made baseball fun again with the Pittsburgh Pirates, emerging as the franchise star they could build around. During his tenure in the Steel City, McCutchen was named to 5 All-Star games, won the 2013 NL MVP award, and led Pittsburgh to the playoffs 5 times. Kutch was also a 4-time Silver Slugger Award winner. But after finishing 5th in the NL MVP voting for the 2015 season, McCutchen saw his career go way downhill, and nobody can really understand how or why. In 2016, McCutchen had the worst batting average of his career at .256, having batted .292 the year before. His OPS of .849 was also considerably down for previous years. McCutchen also struck out a whopping 143 times, which was a career high at the time. Usually among baseball's WAR leaders, McCutchen's wins above replacement in 2016 was an awful negative 0.7. McCutchen had a better season in 2017, but still nothing like the all-star form we saw in previous years. He split 2018 with the San Francisco Giants and New York Yankees, but McCutchen once again showed that his career is on the decline. The Philadelphia Phillies handed him a 3-year, $50 million deal in the 2018-19 offseason. They obviously don't know that they're paying a lot of money for a guy who, well, has only been on the downside of his career for 3 years now. Again, we just don't know what happened to McCutchen's MVP form. Number 1, Dwight Howard. For almost a full decade, Dwight Howard was an MVP caliber player. By far a top 5 or 10 player in the NBA. He was a perennial all-star and won 3 Defensive Player of the Year awards with the Orlando Magic. D12 guided them to the 2009 NBA Finals, where they lost to the Los Angeles Lakers in 5 games. Howard consistently ranked among the game's top scorers, and he led the league in rebounding 5 times. There just wasn't another big man who could take over a game like Howard when he played for the Magic. Howard asked for a trade in the 2012 offseason, and he was dealt to the Los Angeles Lakers, forming a new super team with Kobe Bryant and Steve Nash. Howard was supposed to help the purple and gold win another championship, but the trade actually led to the downfall of his career. Howard's 2012-13 campaign in Lakerland was his worst season in 6 years. He would sign with the Houston Rockets in the 2013 offseason, but aside from another all-star year in 2014, Howard would never regain his Orlando Magic form again. D12 scoring went way down every year. Instead of averaging 20-something points per game, he was posting closer to 13 points per contest. Howard re-signed with the Washington Wizards in 2018. It seemed like a lifetime ago now that Howard was an elite scorer and a defensive stalwart. He hasn't been an MVP candidate in over half a decade now. He was supposed to be Kobe's next great sidekick. Instead, Howard went from all-star to the top athlete on our list that began to struggle out of nowhere. He probably just should have stayed in Orlando. Which other great athletes began struggling out of nowhere? Join me in the comment section below. Make sure to follow myself and TPS on social media. We post great content all the time. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. I post videos every single week, and they're really entertaining. So if you want more of me, go there. Go subscribe. Subscribe to TPS because we post videos every single day. Every day's a new video. If you like this video, give it a like. It takes 1 click right down there. Smash that like button. Of course, thank you so much for watching. I'm Jason Biondo. I'll see you next time.
My knee.